From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Our top story, Alaska State Troopers have identified the driver that was killed in a shootout and pursuit yesterday morning.
That's right. 33-year-old Vincent Perdue of Fairbanks was pronounced dead at the scene after an extensive vehicle pursuit that involved multiple shots fired at both Alaska State Troopers and Fairbanks police. According to a release this afternoon, Perdue eluded police in South Fairbanks. He and a female passenger almost immediately began shooting out of the window towards law enforcement. The pursuit stopped at the end of Bradway Road when Perdue struck a police vehicle and drove into a ditch to avoid spike strips. 4 Alaska State Troopers and 1 Fairbanks police officer fired shots at the duo, wounding the unidentified female and killing Perdue. 2 handguns and multiple shell casings were found throughout the area of the pursuit. Troopers are asking any witnesses to the attempted traffic stop or to the end of the pursuit to contact Alaska Bureau of Investigations. The names of the troopers and officer involved will be withheld for 72 hours.
Well, it took a long time, but a lot of detailed work, but it's paid off for Golden Valley Electric Association and its customers with a check from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. FEMA covered a lot of the costs paid by the utility for the damage for a November 2013 storm. The storm brought hurricane-force winds that caused significant damage to GVEA's equipment. As a result, power outages throughout GVEA's service area were extensive. At the storm's peak, as many as 13,000 residences and businesses were without power, some for as many as 8 days. Borgeson said with the receipt of the FEMA reimbursement check, the expense of the storm will have a minimal impact on members' rates.
We're very pleased that we received funding from FEMA, almost about $2.24 million. The total cost of our storm, of getting everybody back online and repairing our damaged power lines and poles, was about $3 million. So a very large portion of the cost of that storm was covered by the federal government.
A Fairbanks man originally charged with sexual assault will serve 40 years in jail as part of a deal with the state. 54-year-old Leslie Aviogana pleaded guilty to a single count of kidnapping. According to charging documents, Aviogana was caught raping a highly intoxicated woman behind the diner restaurant downtown. Judge Michael McDonald today spoke of Aviogana's lengthy criminal history, including accusations of other sexual assaults dating back to the 80s and 90s.
Local firefighters will be holding a ceremony to remember the servicemen and women that died during the tragedy of 9/11 on its anniversary this Friday. The Farthest North Fraternal Order of Leatherhead Society is hosting the event at the Fairbanks Fire Department on Cushman Street. On September 11, 2001, over 400 emergency personnel sacrificed their lives to save others when terrorists hijacked 4 airliners. 2 of the planes flew into the World Trade Center in New York City. Now the ceremony starts at 9:30 in the morning. Firefighters will be reading the names of those that died during the tragedy. Organizer Scott Ragar says the public is welcome to attend.
I think for a lot of people, there's still a lot of memories that are sort of hard to deal with sometimes. That as I've been setting it up in the last week, people have been telling me their stories from 14 years ago now that are still like yesterday when they start thinking about them.
It sure does feel like yesterday when you start talking
Absolutely.
about September 11th. Very.
All right, when we come back this weekend, Fairbanks youths will be pitching tents and sleeping bags on 10th Avenue. We'll explain the reason for the event.
Also, we begin our first segment of our actually, it's not our first segment at all, but we are continuing with interiortainment tonight with a look at a production at UAF Theater Department. These stories and more when we come back.
And welcome back. Fairbanks Youth Advocates is set to host an event that helps community members understand the hardships faced by homeless youth. The second annual One Homeless Night kicks off on Friday and extends through Saturday morning. The primary goal of the Fairbanks-based nonprofit is to provide shelter for homeless kids and teens through its facility called The Door. Participants will sleep on the streets of Fairbanks near 10th Avenue in both sleeping bags and cardboard structures. The inaugural evening earned FYA $10,000 last year. Those who are staying for the night's festivities are challenged to raise pledge money for the organization. Fairbanks Youth Advocates Executive Director Mary Lee Bates says a number of activities like a shelter building competition will help raise awareness as well as donations.
Also an awareness raising event. We do a couple of activities as kind of learning activities and then, so that's all part of the process. Clearly in Fairbanks, Alaska, you don't see people sleeping in cardboard tents. I mean, you might in the summertime, but not in the wintertime. But we use it as a fun way to, just kind of also draw awareness and draw focus to those issues.
The annual Pioneer Foundation Art Walk fundraiser is set for Friday at the Fairbanks Pioneer Home on Egan Avenue. The community event starts at 6 p.m. The theme of this year's Art Walk is Fairbanks artists past and present. Along with the art, there will be hors d'oeuvres, outcry, and silent auctions, as well as music. Funds raised are used for activities and projects for the Pioneer Home's 90-some residents.
The biggest thing we've done is the nature walk that we put in outside of the home here. So it's a beautiful campus, and now the residents can take walks along our nature trail and see all the birds and animals around here, and it's just a really nice addition.
Now that classes are back in session, the UAF Theater Department is preparing for a year of productions. Mike Fussell has a look at an upcoming show in this week's segment of That's Interiortainment.
A story of love and hate. Two women are attacked after becoming friends and falling in love with each other. Their relationship and journey moving forward after facing discrimination becomes the focus of the play Stop Kiss by Diana Sun. Auditions for the contemporary show set in New York City took place at UAF last weekend. Director Carrie Baker says 21 students and community members auditioned for the performance's handful of roles.
We had callbacks in the afternoon where we paired actors together to see them, feed off of one another and the dynamic of the scene. And that's really where the casting happens, is how I see actors working together.
The dramatic arc of Stop Kiss splices between a story of romance and healing, with the spotlight on main characters Sarah and Kelly. Seating for the 90-minute show will be entirely on stage. That's something Katrina Kuharik, who is one of the play's leads, says creates an extremely intimate experience for both the actors and the audience.
The play is already so intimate and so vulnerable, and having the audience right there so close to you makes that vulnerability and that intimacy just so much more intense. And it's really, you have to kind of train your brain to just be so in the moment and so on stage with all the characters and all of your scene partners that you kind of just forget that the audience is merely inches away from you.
While the material seems intense, Baker says it's also very funny and heartwarming. She says Stop Kiss will also speak to some larger issues.
It raises some important issues about discrimination and what gay people experience in their lives in terms of this attack happening.
A preview of the show is set for October 29th, and opening night is Friday, October 30th. Stop Kiss will run for another weekend after that and close on November 8th, all at the Salisbury Theater. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
That's Interiortainment, brought to you by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
Okay, Joe Cook is up next with sports, and he has a preview of the Ice Dogs season opening series.
Also, an upcoming run promotes awareness of Alaskan tradition.
All that and more with Joe Cook after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with your Thursday Sportscast. Hockey season is here, folks. After completing training camp and a week of practice, the Ice Dogs hit the ice this weekend. Fairbanks will open their season with a 10-game road trip that includes the NAHL Showcase in Blaine, Minnesota. The Ice Dogs' first series starts this Friday night against the Kenai River Brown Bears. This will also be the opener of the Raven Alaska Cup Series. The Ice Dogs have won the Cup Series the last 3 years. Head coach Trevor Stewart will give Andrew Lindgren the start in net for Game 1. The D-Corps and forwards are optimistic about starting their 10-game roadie with a pair of wins.
It's really important to get a good start, get two good wins to start off the season, and we need to show that we're a better team than Kenai, and because we're gonna face them a lot. So
this big road trip's really gonna show us what we're all about right here. This first 10-game road trip. Road Warriors. Now you gotta put up the points, make the standings.
I think that we're gonna be able to adjust quickly. We'll probably make mistakes. I'm sure we're gonna make mistakes, but after showing them or instructing them a couple times, I think they're going to pick up on it pretty quickly.
The Alaska Nanook volleyball team is in Seattle for the GNAC Pac-West crossover tournament this week. Today they took on California Baptist in their opener. The Lancers defeated the Nooks in 3 sets, 25-22, 25-12, 25-14. Lauren Hackett had a game-high 13 kills for the Lancers. Sam Hartoon led the Nooks with 8 kills. Megan Olson had a game-high 11 digs. It's the first time UAF has been swept this season. Alaska will face Academy of Art tonight, Hawaii Pacific on Friday, and Azusa Pacific on Saturday. Interior flag football teams clashed on Wednesday night. This time it was on grass. The North Pole Patriots hosted the Lathrop Malamutes inside Patriot Pride Stadium. In this game, Caitlin Spencer found another go-to target. Carly Fitzgerald caught 3 TD passes. This one went for 62 yards on the first play of the second half for the Malamutes. They were up 15-0 at the half, and that score extended their lead. Spencer went to Allen Lewis for her second 2-point conversion catch of the game. Lathrop stymied the North Pole offense, and the Malamutes win this one 23-0 for consecutive wins, the most points scored by Lathrop this season. The Mutes are now 2-1 on the year, while North Pole drops to 1-2. Staying with football, the matchups this week will be pivotal for teams positioning themselves for the playoffs. Friday night, the North Pole Patriots will host the Kodiak Bears. The Pats locked up the SEC Conference title last week. They will have a special 9/11 tribute before their early 6 o'clock kickoff. The West Valley Wolfpack traveled to Wasilla for their first Rail Belt Conference game of the season on Friday night. The Pack are 2-2 on the year. Monroe, they lost their first game last week and will try to get healthy by Saturday. They had some injuries in their loss to Valdez. The Rams host Vosnesenka on Saturday at 1 o'clock on Kiwanis Field. Lathrop will have their hands full Saturday night at 6 o'clock. They host interior foe and number 2 ranked Eielson. The Ravens entered the game 4-0, and they are riding a 13-game winning streak. The Mutes are trying to bounce back from a conference loss to Colony. They are now 1-2 on the year. This Saturday on UAF's campus is a Trothyada run for the park. The run will be free for UAF students with ID. There is a $20 entry fee. The 5K run starts at 11 a.m. at Trothyada Park, right beside the Museum of the North. Pete Penny, the executive dean for the College of Rural Development, started the run 4 years ago. This run aims to raise awareness on the native and cultural significance of the Trothyada Park at UAF. There will be a native dance group performing and a traditional blessing before the race.
The Run for the Park is to bring awareness to this particular space and the ridge that we're sitting on. All of the Trothyada campus or Fairbanks campus is on a ridge that was used for the Council of Elders from the Dene or the local Athabascan groups. This space is going to be used for an Indigenous Studies Center and to raise awareness for that, plus the traditions that people had, the traditional chiefs that would come and talk and counsel and share knowledge and experiences together. The race is designed to promote that understanding and to promote this space as dedicated to that.
Coming up this weekend, the Alaska Nanooks and Grizzlies basketball programs will be holding team basketball clinics. Friday sessions from 7 to 9 p.m. for grades 3 through 5, that's $30. Saturday will be grades 6 through 9. The camp is from 9 a.m. to noon on that day. Sunday session is from noon to 3 o'clock for 6th through 9th graders as well. The Saturday and Sunday sessions are $40. All the clinics are at the UAF Patty Center. You can register at interioryouthbasketball.com. And don't fret, football fans, you can still put in your picks for the Pro Football Challenge. Tonight's game is over, but there are still 15 more picks for Week 1. Log on to Webster11.com and sign up for the PFC under the Lifestyle Contest tab. Instead of oil changes this season, weekly winners get a large one-topping pizza from Pizza Hut. This year's grand prize is a Honda EU 2000 generator from Outpost, Alaska, valued at over $1,000. And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Weather is next with Mike Schultz, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our Thursday night newscast. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. And boy, was it wild this afternoon. We had some strong winds move across the area, picked up a lot of dust, reducing the visibility. We'll show you the video of that later on. Our photograph tonight is just the opposite. A very nice, calm, rainbow shot here. It was captured by Robert Marzak. And beautiful colors once again. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos at ktvf11.com. Your numbers, today's high 34, the low last night 42, the record high 75 in 1965, but in 1992 it dropped down to 18 degrees. Daryl and I remember that day very well. The sunrise and sunset, about 13 hours and 38 minutes of daylight. That's a loss of almost 6.5 minutes for the day. On our satellite and radar, an area of low pressure really cranking up in the Gulf of Alaska, bringing just a lot of rainfall over southeast Alaska. Also showers across the Prince William Sound and the Anchorage Bowl, even showers around the Fairbanks area. Those are moving out of the picture now. And still a little bit of remnants of showers back to the southwest. The big map today, as you can see, once again, heavy rainfall across all of southeast Alaska. Temperatures close to 60 degrees. The same for Anchorage, 56. Kind of chilly, actually. Kodiak also 56, but partly cloudy skies. Clear skies around the Cold Bay area, 53. Up the west coast, 54 at Bethel, but only 45 at Nome. And of course, you go past the Brooks Range to the north, you get back into the cold air, 31 degrees at Barrow, but move back over to the Fort Yukon area, 45 for their high. That's still pretty chilly for them too. Lower 48 weather. Once again, the hot temperatures are prevalent over the western half of the country. 83 in San Francisco. Nice day in Seattle, 77. Not quite 90 degrees for Salt Lake City and Denver. Las Vegas and Phoenix, 100 degrees at Las Vegas, below 100 degrees in Phoenix. Showers and thunderstorms around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 94 degrees there. Over the eastern half of the country, not too bad in St. Louis, 88, a little cooler in Chicago. Raining all day long over the northeast for New York and Washington, D.C. And you can see that on the satellite and radar. Lots of moisture moving across the eastern side of the country. That's going to continue, it looks like, into tomorrow. Elsewhere, we have some pretty good band of thunderstorms moving across the central plains and out to the west. Clear skies. That's because the jet stream, once again, is really pushing everything out and bringing all that warm air up from the south. It's also developing some afternoon thunderstorm activity. And the overall outlook is calling for the jet stream to remain well to the north over the weekend, with cooler air dropping down across the Great Lakes and helping to inspire some activity there. Quite a bit of severe thunderstorm activity expected to break out there. Once again, time for our kids' weather, and tonight we have a young man from Ann Ween Elementary School to ask me a weather question.
My name is Fian Michael Crockett in Miss Eisman's class, 4th grade class in Ann Ween Elementary. My question for the weatherman is where do tornadoes happen? I mean, why don't tornadoes happen in Alaska?
Actually, Alaska does have tornadoes. They're very small scale compared to the lower 48, but they're still strong enough to pick up some items and throw them around. So they're classified as EF1 tornadoes, and not nearly as heavy and powerful as the ones in the lower 48. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for helping us out with our kids' weather, and thanks to their 50 years of service for the interior. Tomorrow night, we'll wrap things up with a teacher from the class. We'll be sharing a weather fact with us. All right, your forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this. Actually, we'll talk about the rest of Alaska's forecast. You saw the northern sections looking a little snow on the Barrow area, and also some showers around the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, looking at more scattered showers region-wide, and temperatures right around 60 degrees. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like the rain will continue off and on. The flood watch in effect for Juneau until 5 o'clock. Out to the southwest, we'll be looking at rain showers for Cold Bay and also at Bethel, and just partly cloudy skies at Kodiak. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, well, still kind of messy down there. Rain showers for Anchorage and Homer, and rain is likely at Valdez. Okay, now let's take a look at our forecast for the remainder of the night. And we're going to be looking at cloudy skies becoming partly cloudy by later on in the evening. 41 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, mostly cloudy. Once again, some scattered rain showers in the area, 60 degrees. And the extended forecast, we've been talking about the cool temperatures all week long over the weekend. They're going to continue right on through Monday, starting tomorrow night. Overnight lows will also once again be dropping down to very cold temperatures in the 36 to 37 degree category for Saturday night and Sunday. A little bit of a recovery by early next week.
Chilly
Still
one.
chilly though.
Yeah, very good. So hopefully everybody's got their yard work done because, you know.
Oh no, I still have more to do.
We all know how I feel about yard work.
I'm going to unload a cord of wood, stack it.
Okay, yeah, that'll get you through for most of the winter.
I'll be here coming in Monday going,
For those apartment livers like me, we're good.
You're good. You got the heating oil and everything's set. All right, thanks guys. That will wrap up this edition of our broadcast. We are glad you could join us.
Well, be sure and join J.R. Lewis tomorrow morning for more news updates during the Today Show.
And as always, you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, from all of us at the News Center, we hope you have a good night.